symptometry and symptomatic science. We focus on the needs of our cell. It is based on natural law. It is not medical science. It is based on natural law, the law that the Almighty Source Creator has put into play. Any names and terms used in this presentation are not for self-diagnosis purposes. They further your understanding of the precepts and concepts of symptomatic science. Please contact your physician or your healthcare provider for any medical recommendation. Brothers and sisters, we are in charge of our own body. The Almighty gifted each and every one of us with a body. We have learned now, since being a student at the American School of Symptometry, that we have the ability to fortify our body against diseases, to fortify our blood, to fortify our immune system, to fortify our DNA against diseases. Our cell has the ability to self-correct, self-regulate, recalibrate, and self-perpetuate. It is we who must provide cleaner blood with more oxygen. These are the laws, brothers and sisters. Our cells need oxygen, life-sustaining forces. And unfortunately, no physician that you go to have studied this in medical school. Therefore, they treat their patients with pharmaceutical drugs. And we're not made out of pharmaceutical drugs. We're made out of nutrients and resources. That's what we're made out of. Water, 94%, 93% water. The pharmaceutical will zap water from your cells.
Yes.
This is what will happen. What can a cell do if they're dehydrated and there's no water present in them? Your condition is going to get chronic. And brothers and sisters, all we have to do is look back on our relatives, look back on our senior citizens, look back on our grandparents, their grandparents, whoever took pharmaceuticals. We're not just against pharmaceuticals. We have to tell the truth. They got sicker and sicker and sicker. They never did get better. They developed other symptoms and diseases, and they compounded. And it spiraled out of control. They never regained their health. It happened to my mother. It happened to Dr. Norty, the founder of the American School of Symptometry and Symptomatic Science. It happened with his mother. It happened with his mother-in-law. It happened with my uncles. He studied what happened to them. I studied what happened to my parents and grandparents and great-grandparents and all our relatives. The same thing happened. So we're here today, brothers and sisters, to say that we have a choice. We have choices. The 14th Amendment allows us to have choices in our healthcare. We have to get smarter. So, brothers and sisters, we'd like to welcome you once again to a new episode of Optimal Health on AM 360. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us here today. And we're not just lollygagging around. The information that we share is scientific, verifiable information. It's not based on your belief. It's not based on my belief. It is science, universal science, verifiable. And that's why we're able to share it on this program. That's why we're able to share it on this program. So we're going to see, we have our guests. I see both Ms. Rita Taylor and Ms. Yvette Dean. They both are here. We thank them for taking time out of their busy schedule. And Ms. Rita has some very important information that she'll be sharing with us. And that her topic today, brothers and sisters, absolutely amazing. Why radiation and chemotherapy fail? Why? Why do they fail? We don't just talk about these things, brothers and sisters. We offer you evidence that you can see for yourself. We have to take charge of our life and our health. Our health is our life, brothers and sisters. Without it, you're done. It's over. People just wait to die. If you don't have your health, you won't have energy. You'll be losing energy. You can't do anything without energy. That's the first thing the sick person complains of. Oh, I don't have energy. I can't go today. I can't get out of the bed. No energy. They have energy zappers, zapping all of their energy. What produced those energy zappers? What we eat, what we drink, and the chemical and substance we expose ourselves to. That's what zap our energy. The pharmaceutical you take, the herbal decoction that you take, the supplement from the health food store that you take, supplement on the internet that you find and take. They have preservative in them. They have fillers in them. And all kind of other substance that you don't know of. These are the facts that we should know about, brothers and sisters. So our first guest is going to be discussing why radiation and chemotherapy fail. Ms. Rita.
Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak. Brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you for joining us today, taking time out of your busy schedule. Thank you so very much. We're going to take a short break. If I can get this computer to operate correctly. For some reason, it's been acting up. I don't know. These devices are good when they're working, but man, when they're not working, you have an issue. The next topic we'll be discussing with how our cells function. Brothers and sisters, we're going to be sharing some fantastic information about how our cells function. What's our role? What's our responsibility to our cells? If we don't take care of them, we are made of cells, we're done. I don't care what you think you're going to be able to do. It's not going to happen. You're fooling yourself if you don't take care and focus on your health. And the cells that we're made out of, over 220 different types of cells, brothers and sisters, that's what we're made of. And when they're compromised, you would be compromised. If those are brain cells, well, that's what part of the body be compromised. If they're the heart cell, that's what part of the brain be compromised. If they're the lung cell, you get the idea. On and on and on. We're made of cells. So we'll be talking a lot about the cells that we are made of. That's what the Almighty used to create us. From the genes, or blueprint in the genes. And we all have our uniqueness because of the genes. No one knows the combination of genes that came together to produce each and every one of us, but the Almighty himself. Absolutely amazing. So brothers and sisters, we're going to see if we can take a short break, then we'll come back and we'll start our program sharing information about why radiation and chemotherapy fail every time. And we all know people have done this, went through this process, and they're no longer here with us. We all know people that happened to. There's no accident. They will all fail. We'll be right back, brothers and sisters. Thank you so very much for joining us today here on Optimal Health on AM 360.
People get sick all the time. However, even after years of research, physicians don't have the faintest clue why most sick people find themselves in the predicament they do. Will they just accept the same treatment without truly getting to the bottom of what is happening to them? Not anymore. Symptometry draws attention to your cells, the building block of your being, allowing you to understand what needs to be done and paving the way for self-correction. Developed by Dr. Maxwell Nardi, symptometry is not medicine or even its alternative. It is a study designed to fill in the void left behind by the most common scientific fields. Symptometric science has proven time and again, over 31 years, that chaotic eating and living are not in the best interest of the cells. It's about time we change that. To understand symptometry, dive into a whole new world of cell-based knowledge and profoundly appreciate human cells' work. Get your copy of Symptometry and Symptometric Science at a Glance by Dr. Maxwell Nardi now.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters. You're with your host, Abdul Shaheed, your certified symptometry health coach. And we have our two guests with us, Mrs. Rita Taylor and Miss Yvette Dean. We all three are certified symptometry health coach. We encourage you to become a student at the American School of Symptometry, the place that focuses on the needs of our cells and give them what they need so we can maintain our health and be the best person on this planet using our brain, understanding what our role is and why the Almighty sent us here in the first place. We didn't come on our own. He sent us here to do something special, brothers and sisters. Each one of us has a mission. Just think about that. So, Ms. Rita, we're going to pass the mic on to you so you can get started on what you're going to talk about. We already mentioned what you're going to talk about, why radiation and chemotherapy fail.
Okay, brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum. Yes, we are here. I'm here presenting to you some life skills that you need to know. Because as you said from the beginning, you are responsible for your health. Not the doctor, not your mother, not your sister, but you. And so when you are asked to do something, you need to ask some questions. And which means that you need to be endowed with information that you can use. You know, when 20 million people are diagnosed with cancer worldwide, and 2 million in the United States alone every year. So when you are asked, when you are told, which we were told, my husband and I we were told 20 years ago with colon cancer, we did not have a clue. So here with symptometry, I've learned some stuff that I want to share with you so that when you're faced with this, you know how to react and you know how to ask questions. Because a lot of the time we allow the doctors to take over and then we sit there like stones and they determine what kind of treatment you want to have. Yes, we went through chemo, but if we know today if we have known what we did 20 years ago, we will not. But let me give you some ideas so that you have your weapon when you go to the doctor. When you're called from the office, you did the colonoscopy test and you're called into the doctor's office and say, drop everything and come. And you go in there with your husband or sister or whatever, you know the kind of question to ask. First of all, when they tell you that you have cancer, how do you know that? How did you know that you have cancer? Just because the doctor told you, is that true? Okay. So for you to arm yourself with some information, this is what I will ask you to do. How did you know that I have cancer? You ask the doctor. What kind of equipment did you use to determine that I have cancer? Okay, you are putting the onus on the doctor, not on you. So when you ask that kind of question, the doctor will say, why am I telling you to ask this question? There's only one machine that can determine that you have cancer. That can determine, and that machine, the name is microcentrifuge. Microcentrifuge. That machine will determine that you have cancer. Let me ask you why you need to arm yourself with information. First of all, the microcentrifuge, it isolates the DNA, which is a double helix, from examination. Also, DNA must have 20 amino acids. Are all 20 amino acids in your cell? Is it in your blood? If you have all the 20 amino acids in your blood, it means you don't have cancer. But we didn't ask that question because we didn't know. Okay, number two, they would say, oh, it's dark, so you have cancer. Well, just because it's dark doesn't mean that you have cancer. Okay, because it might, the needle that they use might have pricked something dark to show you. So that is not a reason for them to tell you you have cancer. Number three, that microcentrifuge I talked to you about will tell you whether you have lost two amino acids called cysteine and asparagine are missing from your DNA. If you have lost those two amino acids, you definitely have cancer. So you can be armed and said, I'm ready to go because I know that. Why? Because you need 20, now you have only 18. It's not going to work. So you have armed yourself with information that I didn't have 20 years ago when my husband was diagnosed with colon cancer. And we knew that it was colon cancer because it was huge. It'd been sitting there for 5 years. So when we saw that, we did not question. And my husband was a medical doctor himself. So he didn't know. But now that we do know, when you are called that morning, you're rushing from work or whatever, you are from home to go and listen to the news, ask some questions because you are the master of your fate. You determine your health, not somebody else. So you decide, okay, I want to do chemo. You decided, okay, I want to do chemo. Why did people decide to go to chemo? We did not, at that 20 years ago, we didn't even know about symptometry. So we decided to do chemo. And also the price tag on chemo, on treatment is huge. So you say, I cannot afford to do anything. I need to go chemo. Well, if you go chemo, let me tell you why it doesn't work. People are walking with cancer and say, oh, it's in a remission. Yes, it is in remission, but the cancer that they told you 3 years ago, it is still in there. It is there, it hasn't gone anywhere. So let me give you a reason why you need to be askance when they ask you to do radiation or chemo. Okay, first of all, treating yourself with radiation or injection like the port that my husband had, it misses the point. Why? Let me tell you a simple why. The hindrances, the blockages that existed for you to get the cancer is still there because you know what? They are in the potassium channels, magnesium channels, sodium channels. And these channels at the cells at the end of the cell have not been removed. So the blockages that cause the cancer has not been removed. And having the radiation will make it impossible to remove. It won't go anywhere. It just mess your blood up. It give you poison. Okay? Because unless the hindrances are removed, it will be impossible for your cells to receive oxygenated blood. And your cells need that for it to function. But radiation does not do that for you. As a matter of fact, it is still there. So after 6 months of chemo, it doesn't shrink. They will tell you it shrank a little bit. But what did it shrink? What about the hindrances that you had before you came in? Hasn't been removed. No, it has not. And that is something that you need to think about. And have you heard about people getting cancer and then in 2 or 3 years it come back? I hear all the time. We were lucky. I didn't come back because we run to symptometry for us to have ourselves basically ionized to break the bonds that they didn't remove so that my husband doesn't have the relapse that other people do. So what is it? How many people are lost to chemotherapy and radiation? Millions are close the group. Are close the group. Millions do that because they do not know that they are getting into what they call a death trap. They don't know that what they're putting in their body does not function. And they need to know that unless they have oxygenated blood, and the hindrances and the concretions and the plasma and the sedimentary sludge has all been removed. The encumbrances, all of them has been removed. Your blood, your cell will not receive the sediment, it will receive the oxygenated blood that you need for your cell to function properly. So the question you ask yourself, I asked my husband, why did we go through this? Why did we go through it for 6 months? Why did they put poison in your body? He said, honey, I don't know. The doctor told us to do. And my husband is a medical doctor himself. Can you imagine this? But what did happen? They did not remove it. We came to Centometry to have that removed. And what did he end up with? He ended up with a stomach like a pregnant lady as she was getting older because the poison didn't do anything for him. The radiation won't do anything for you. But would the doctor tell you that? No. So I'm giving you the life skill that you need to have when you're faced with it, because believe me, it happens on a daily basis about people getting cancer. You have a choice. You can either deal with it, go through chemo, or not even do it at all. You have a right not to do it. You can walk away from them and say, hey, let me have a second opinion. Or I will live with it, because you know what? They're not doing anything for yourself. They are not removing the hindrances. They're just giving you poison to say that we're treating you. And every time, every 2 weeks you go in, they check your blood and say your platelets and everything is low and all the stuff. And it will bounce back. And it doesn't. So I want to arm you with this kind of information. Okay, so the question that I want for you is that a person who has underwent chemotherapy and radiation have a chance with symptometry? We don't think so, but here's why. Okay, chemotherapy and radiation have extensively damaged the person's tissues, organs, and glands. And let me explain to you why. First of all, the drug that you're using, the IQ drug that you're using, they eliminate water. And you know your body, we are made with 92% water. You're supposed to drink 2 to 3 liters a day. It dehydrates your cell. And dehydrating your cell means that they also eliminate hydrogen. And hydrogen is part of water. So guess what? They are dehydrating your cell, so you're not getting anything out, but they put poison in. I just want to figure that out when you're sitting in the doctor's office. Also, when you do have the chemo, we went through on the chemo, we didn't do radiation because my husband was against it. When you do the chemo, the muscle cells that you have, okay, they divide to produce elastin, fibrillin, and fibrin. Guess what? They don't, because you don't have oxygen, but nothing has been removed. They have not ionized your cell. They put poison in your body. Your cell received nothing. Nothing. So you will start, that's one of the things I want to share with you. Constipation was a problem for us, for him. Okay? Constipation, lack of energy was a problem for him. Swelling was a problem for him. Lack of energy was a problem for him. But they say, oh, let's give you something for the nausea so you can eat. Well, a lot of my husband's friends were not eating, but he was lucky enough that he was able to hold some food in, not a whole lot. But he lost a lot of weight. You know, my husband weighed almost 190 pounds, almost 200 pounds when we started this. Once he finished, we were almost like 150. She lost a lot of weight. She lost his hair. So all those things that I'm sharing with you did happen, and happen to people that have gone through that. But What did you get in return? That's the question I want to ask you. You got nothing in return. They did not remove the hindrances and the encumbrances that your cell, it is in the cell. They did not. Instead, they gave you poison. And then you start the aftermath of the chemotherapy is what I'm sharing with you because this is a personal story. Okay? Can symptometry reverse the damage that radiation and chemotherapy inflicted on my husband? In truth, there are no guarantee for my husband. We came in because we were brought in by a friend. There are no guarantees. Let me tell you why there are no guarantees. First of all, is the person able to eat? A lot of the people, when they go through this, they cannot eat. No, they can't. Did the person have an appetite? They sure don't. They are nauseous, they're throwing up. Okay? So let me tell you why you're throwing up and you don't have an appetite. You're throwing up, you don't have an appetite because the chemo or the radiation that you had destroy your hypothalamus and your digestive gland, make it impossible for them to produce the digestive enzyme to break down what you are eating. So that's why you don't have an appetite. Your hypothalamus is gone. You don't. It is full of sedimentary sludge. It needs to be removed before you can get your appetite back. But a lot of them don't. So it takes months and months for them to go through it. So first of all, if you are not eating, our particulate that we provide to ionize the cell, it's supposed to be an energy booster from the food that is recommended. But if you're not eating, the particulates will not work for you. But even if work, it will not work efficiently. Can you gain weight? No, you can't because chemotherapy and radiation destroy your ATPs and myoglobin and thyroid hormones because they were always checking my husband. Thyroid, they were always checking every time we go there. Your fibroblasts, causing them to lose oxygen, energy, and strength. Oxygen. You had cancer because you didn't have oxygen. That's what the microcentrifuge should be able to tell you. Because if you have oxygen, you don't have cancer. So you will lose that. The other question that we did not know, but I'm learning now, is that can you produce neurotransmitters? No, you can't because the radiation and chemotherapy have damaged the cell that produce the endorphins, the enkephalins. These are your pain mechanism, making them impossible for them to produce serotonin, acetylcholine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine. This and the adrenal gland is also destroyed. This is what chemo will do to you. Can you produce hormones? No. Because the pain that the pain medicine you're supposed to have in your body has been removed. And the inflammation has become unbearable. And so what did they do? The pain? They'll give you morphine or oxycodone or something like that. My husband had pain, but it wasn't unbearable, and she can take pain pretty well. So we didn't have to get to the morphine portion. Because if you can't take the pain that has been removed because of the chemo and the radiation, they will give you morphine and oxycodone. And before you know it, you are on the dead block. This is not to scare you. I went through this myself with my husband. So this is from personal experience. And symptometry is given us the life skill, the variable facts that you need to have if you're confronted with cancer. And you have to make a choice of treatment. It is up to you. So let me say this. I have a friend who 4 years ago knew my husband was diagnosed with colon cancer, just like my husband. That guy knew about symptometry because my husband was with symptometry. She went to the website. She decided that, no, I don't want to do symptometry. I don't believe in it. I don't think it even work. Bye. Talk to Dr. Nati. Decide not to. Let's dial back 4 years from now, 2026. She's going through radiation. He's going through chemo. She's going through everything under the sun. She lost weight. She can hardly talk. Sometimes when she open her mouth, nothing comes out. Nothing worked. Now she's interviewing to go and do experimental drug. My friend that we love is going through the experiment because it didn't work. Well, but she doesn't want symptometry. Some people don't want symptometry. You can force them, but I just want you to know that after 4 years of all the radiation, the chemo, and everything else, which she just had some about 2 weeks ago until she decided enough is enough. I want to do something else. It did not work for him. So when you are diagnosed with cancer, you have a right to choose the treatment to help you live longer and better. Okay? Let me tell you this. Most medical treatment, the chemo and radiation, it is seldom reach our cells. Okay? Because instead of the propulsive force that you need to push the oxygenated blood, as a matter of fact, is reducing the force. So it's rendering your cell useless. And this is sad but true. Because it's the opposite. The chemo and the rad is doing exact opposite to what your cells need. Instead of removing the hindrances and making sure that they're ionized, they give you poison. And there's no guarantee to you that that poison that you've done or using is going to work for you. As I said, we came to symptometry as quickly as we can and started cooking scientifically and everything else so that my husband can bounce back. Okay, so are you aware that you don't have to say yes to chemo or radiation? That's your right. Get a second opinion. Talk to symptometry or refuse it completely, because you know what? At the end of the day, they're not doing anything for you. It's suffering that you're going to suffer with nothing else to show for it. And secondly, a lot of people think that cancer runs in their family, so they too are going to get cancer. No, that is not true. You determine your health. If you follow the natural laws, you are going to be healthy than your brother or sister who had cancer. Okay, so one thing I want you to know, that cancer is not something that you should fear. Cancer is a symptom that you have, and you need to face it head on. Make sure that you have a team with you. Make sure that when you go to the doctor, if it's a husband and wife, maybe a daughter there too, so that they can ask questions. Because remember, it is your health, it is your life, and you determine whether you take that poison or not. Well, we chose the poison because we didn't know anything better 20 years ago. But as soon as we knew better, we ran to symptometry, and that never get the cancer return. Oh, and by the way, why do people get a relapse? Why does it come back 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? It come back because, you remember I told you about the 2 amino acid and the oxygen that was not in your blood? That needs to be rebuilt. And only symptometry can do that for you. That's what they did to my husband. They rebuild those amino acids for him to be able to get oxygenated blood, the proportion for that he needs so that the blood will circulate again and the hindrance is removed. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very simple process if you know the truth. The truth is that you are full of hindrances, encumbrances, and sedimentary sludge that needs to be removed from your plasma membrane. And when that is removed, you have the oxygenated blood that your cells need for you to function properly. Don't be afraid of the word cancer because that's what I did. When they told me, after I heard the news, I ran all over Dallas trying to find a church to go pray and cry. I have two young girls, and who is going to take care of my breadwinner, even though I'm a professional person, have a job and everything else? Who's going to take away my partner? We weren't thinking straight. Get home, think straight, and go back and face the doctor again with your question. And by the way, you don't have to take the poison. It is your choice, it is your life, because we do have verifiable science in symptometry. And this is a life skill that I did not have 20 years ago. And I want to share with you that you do have a choice. And symptometry will be here to help you if you decided to come our way to get treatment. Brother Saheed, Assalamu alaikum.
Well, like I said, Mrs. Rita, that's excellent, excellent, excellent. We're going to see if anyone have any questions, but before we do, we're going to take a short break. Brothers and sisters, do not go anywhere at all. Take a moment to call someone, do a two-way or three-way to ask them to join us here on Optimal Health on AM 360, where we share verifiable scientific information that can help us figure out what our cells need and give it to them, and they're in charge. They know how to do everything for us, brothers and sisters. They can restore normalcy, but we have to help them, just like Mrs. Rita said, to bounce back. They have hindrance. It is your responsibility to remove the hindrance from the food, from the beverages, from the air, from the chemical we expose ourselves to. And we all know the place is polluted everywhere. Everywhere is polluted. That's no pure air that we breathe. That's no pure water that we drink. There's something in it. Everything with the food, preservative, fertilizer, pesticide, herbicide, fungicide. And that list goes on and on and on. Absolutely amazing. Therefore, we have hindrance to our cell. It is only the therapeutics of symptometry that can remove the hindrance, to break the bond on these things, on these elements, on the inert substance, on sedimentary sludge that gets stuck everywhere in our blood. And if we don't remove them, the cell will not receive nutrients and resources. This is why the person has cancer or any other disease. The cell not able to receive nutrients and resources to produce energy, their work tool, and enzyme, their other work tools. That's it, brothers and sisters. We don't need the drugs, the pharmaceuticals, the herbs, the supplements. Our cell produce everything. We just have to help them. So please share a link with someone or do a two-way or three-way and ask them to join us. We have plenty of time left in the program. So brothers and sisters, we'll be right back. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Maxwell Narty, inventor of symptometry and symptomatic science. Many of you may not have heard of symptometry because it appears to be new Unfortunately, new does not mean untested. Symptometry has been around for 32 years, since 1991. During these 32 years, I had to conduct several experiments. I had to test the precepts and the concepts of symptometry and symptomatic science. After 32 years of testing, the results are in. The results are excellent. This is why you are hearing about symptometry and symptomatic science now. I invented symptometry and symptomatic science for a reason. What is this reason? The reason is medical science, nutrition, Chinese traditional medicine, acupuncture, chiropractic, Ayurveda, and herbalism created a gaping hole, a large and deep vacuum, bottomless vacuum that had to be filled. This is why I created symptometry and symptomatic science. We are not here just to fool around. We are here to fill a deep vacuum. How did they create this vacuum? How? I will tell you why. They created this vacuum by focusing on the word disease. Disease. Disease comes from the Greek word pathos. P-A-T-H-O-S, pathos. Pathos give us pathology. And pathology tells you nothing about how a disease started. Pathology tells you absolutely nothing about how a symptom started. This is what is wrong with pathology. Pathology is good to study cadavers, it's good to practice surgery and know where the organs are located. That is what pathology is all about. And if you want to study health, you must know the difference between pathology and health.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters. You're with Abdul Shaheed, your certified symptometry health coach, and with our two guests, Mrs. Rita Taylor and Miss Yvette Dean. We're all certified symptometry health coaches. That means we have been tested. We've been tested, brothers and sisters. They don't pass out that certificate for free, for nothing. You have to pass tests, and you're always tested.
Always.
In order to pass the test, you have to make 92% or above.
Mm-hmm.
There's no B's and C's and D's at the American School of Symptometry. You can only make A's. You have to keep being tested and tested until you meet the standard.
Yes.
Every class, every subject, the passing grade is 92% or above. If you make less than that, you fail. I wonder what the standards are at the medical schools, the chiropractic school, the school of optometry, and ophthalmologists, dermatology, acupuncture. What's the passing grade? And they don't study what we studied, brothers and sisters. We study cell science because we're made of cells. We study water science because we're made of water. We study food science because we have to eat food. They don't study any of those things at the medical schools and the other alternative medicine school. Not even Chinese traditional medicine. They don't study that either. We study air science. The human being must breathe the air before they can eat or drink. Therefore, we have to study air science. The baby has to breathe first
Mm.
Just think about it. And what we're saying is common sense. They overlook the obvious, brothers and sisters. We're made of cells that can produce everything, but yet and still they're in the laboratory trying to produce drugs to take the place of cells that the Almighty Creator created us out of. They have atomic intelligence, can figure out everything. All we have to do is just continue to give them what they need so they can produce their work tool, and they will restore our health, brothers and sisters. This is what we're saying. Doesn't that make sense? Don't be bamboozled any longer. You are in charge of your health, not the physician, not your mama, your daddy, your grandparent. You are. You have to make a decision. That's what the life is about. Because if we continue to live, we're going to get older, brother and sister. You know what's happening in the future if you don't make the right decision, the right choices about food, about beverages, about fruits and vegetables? If you live, you're going to get older. That's a progression, straight line progression. We have to make better choices, better decisions. We have to take charge of our life. Don't let the forces take over, because they will. The influences of the media, the influences of other people who know nothing about your cells that you have created out of. They know nothing about them. They don't believe in them. They think they're worthless, though the Almighty Creator created us out of them. Did he make a mistake? No, he did not. He created us, brothers and sisters, more than perfect. It is we who do not understand. So if anyone have a question for our guests, just raise your hand or open your mic and ask your question or make your comment. We thank you once again for being with us here today on Optimal Health on AM 360. We're so thankful that you're here with us week after week after week. Now you have to start to put to practice the application of symptometry, the symptomatic science, gaining more life skills so you can help other people. This is how it's done, brothers and sisters. This is how we remake the world one person at a time. We have to remake ourselves first. Rejuvenation, renewal. We're in the month of Ramadan. That's what it's all about. Renewal process. It's not about food and drink, but renewing ourselves completely. Mind, body, and soul. Anyone have a question? Miss Yvette, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. So what I was trying to understand, so Miss Rita, great job, Rita. Yes. Great job. I just wanted to ask that. So you're saying that if a person is diagnosed with cancer,
yes, ma'am,
to make sure that they check their amino acids, certain amino acids.
Exactly.
Right.
The machine that's the centrifuge that I talked about.
Yes.
You need to make sure that that's the machine the doctor used to determine that you have cancer. And there are three things you need to know. First of all, do you have oxygen? Number two, your amino acid, you're supposed to have 20. If it's 18, you lost 2 because of the cancer. So that needs, and that amino acid that is called cysteine and asparagine, that needs to be rebuilt, and only symptometry can do that. And if those are, and also the ribose, which is the backbone of, the backbone of just that, you need to make sure that it's there. The sugar is there. So if those 3 things are there, then I mean, if it's not there, then you really do have cancer. But you need to know from in your mind that yes, you have cancer, and how am I going to tackle the treatment? When my husband and I did it, we did not know anything. They just say have cancer. Okay. What do we do next? Do surgery, whatever. Okay. Now I want people to go in methodically, asking questions. Don't just take it, Miss Yvette, just because they say you have cancer. How did you not have cancer? did you know that? What kind of test did you use? And first of all, you put the doctor on the hot seat for him to tell you that, hey, this is what we did. And if you're satisfied, fine. If you're not, have a second opinion. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to take it like we did.
Right.
Right.
So can symptometry help us to produce these amino acids?
Yes. Because that's what we do. That's what happened to my husband. We lost that to amino acid. We came back, and through ionization, and we broke the bond. My husband and rebuilt. They rebuilt the 2 amino acid that we lost. He lost in order for him, for the cells to be whole again.
That's amazing.
Okay, and only symptometry can do that. Only symptometry. You say people have relapsed. They have relapsed because the amino acid that they lost, it has not been rebuilt. It has to be rebuilt. You can't lose something and then don't do anything about it. You have to fill in the gap.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excellent question, Ms. Yvette. Ms. Yvette, yes. What happens if those 2 amino acids not replaced? What happens to the DNA?
You talking to me? Ms. Reedy, sorry.
Okay.
I was saying that you asked an excellent question, Ms. Yvette.
Thank you.
I was asking a question to Ms. Rita. What happens if the person fails to replace the 2 amino acids?
It means that your DNA is fragmented.
And what does that mean in plain language?
It means that your DNA is not functioning. It needs to be rebuilt.
Exactly.
It needs to be rebuilt.
If the DNA is fragmented, the genes, brother and sister, would never release the blueprint, the set of instructions for the cells to do what they need to do to restore your health, to remove the cancer, to remove whatever the anomaly is. The Almighty gifted us with everything. This is the point we want to make. If you fail to replace the amino acid and have all 20 there, the DNA will be fragmented. Every time it attempts to unwind, it will break off. Brother and sister, mankind have now seen this with light electron microscope that can magnify things 50 million times at the cellular level. They have looked into the nucleus and see the DNA unwinding to receive the blueprint from the gene. If those 20 amino acids is not there, it's not going to happen. And that's why the person would die.
Exactly. And that's the person why they get the relapse. And then you said, oh, I don't want to do chemo again. Well, you're on your way out. That's why people die.
That's why they die. The cell cannot help them. The DNA is fragmented. It will not receive the blueprint. The genes they're not going to budge. They're there waiting for us to do what we need to do to restore the 20 amino acids. Now we have the knowledge to reverse every disease. But the person can't go off and do chemotherapy for 6 months and radiation for another 6 months and eat all kind of plant food that we're not made out of. We're not made of plants. We're made of collagen, collagenic fiber. That's human protein, brother and sister. If you don't replace the human protein, then what do you have? We're not plants. You added more poison to the person's system. And the cells do not have what they need. They cannot restore our health because they don't have it. They don't have the amino acid. Plants have only a few of them. That's why we have to eat protein food, meats that have more amino acids. So we have a better opportunity to replace all 20 amino acids in our DNA. So it won't be fragmented. When it unwinds, it stays together.
Because if it's fragmented, it means that it's not unwinding. Your helicase is not doing that. And in order to have it all 20, your DNA has to function fully. And so that's what a lot of people, we didn't know, basically when we took it. But, when we came to symptometry went back and help us in helping with the DNA and making sure so that our cells can divide and have the case.
So another question. What happens if the person used the chemotherapy? What's in the chemotherapy drugs that's going to affect the person?
Well, that person, the chemo, remember, it is I kill, and that
absolutely. Explain or kill to our listeners.
Okay, this is what happened. Your body need water. We are made of 92% water. What the drug do is that it removes the water that you should have in your cell. So it dehydrating your cell, which means it first of all it also remove hydrogen, which is part of water. So
Yes.
you need to make sure that once those are removed, your cell is not functioning. You have
They
to
can't
have,
function.
they can't function. You need to have water. And since we are made of water, you need to make sure that the kill drug do remove that water. It dehydrate your cell. So instead of going forward, you're going backward. It's not helping you at all. You received the poison, but you did not receive anything to correct it. And that's what symptometry is here. That no, 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 we will get you back. We will reverse it. We will ionize your cell, break the bonds, and remove all the sludge that you have, and making sure that you have water for again, because it dehydrates the your cell, and your cell need water to
Ms.
function.
Rita, since they're removing the hydrogen from the person's cell, what else the person would not have in the cell?
They will not have hydrogen. They will also not have okay, don't have hydrogen.
What's that energy?
Yeah, they will not have the propulsive force that you need.
Not only that one, the other energy that's come from the sun, that heat.
The heat, oh, you
Thermal
also need,
energy.
you need the thermal energy. You need the thermal energy that
Exactly.
you need the thermal energy for yourself, because heat is the first source of energy in our body. You need heat. And let me tell you, that thermal energy is a healing process. It's a healing process. Whenever you have, even though we're talking about cancer, when you have an issue, go to that hot water, the thermal energy, and put it on. I'm just telling you, that is my go-to in everything. My eye, I put that on, bingo. Because why? The thermal energy is the first level of ionization for you. It will help ionize it with that heat. And then when you add the particulate, it will be the secondary. So thermal energy is something you need to have. If you have a scratch throat or something, you break the law or something, and go to that water. Don't reach out for the pill. Don't reach out for the pill, because the first thing we do is, oh, let's go get the cough syrup or whatever, because my throat. Just apply hot water in that part of the body that it has a low temperature and low pressure. That's what your body is telling you. That place have a low temperature. How do you need to bring it up? And you bring it up with thermal energy. Believe me, it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything. Apply that. It's a healing force. And apply that. And symptometry, that's life skills that we all been taught to use.
Mrs. Rita, isn't it true, if the person do not have heat, that means their body temperature is being reduced, and that will that's the making of many different diseases in different parts of the person's body.
Exactly, because if the temperature is reduced, if heat is reduced, you are start as the beginning of all diseases.
Very beginning.
So it's the very beginning of all diseases is not having the heat. Believe me, you need heat in your body, but you can also help yourself by applying the heat to reduce the low temperature area to be a high temperature area for you, so that you do not get the disease that follows. Because if you don't, you will get some kind of a symptom. And I don't know what symptom, depending on what you encounter. The heat is critical.
Absolutely. Anybody else have a question for our guest before she has to leave? Anyone else with a question for our guest, Ms. Rita Taylor? Did an excellent job sharing with us many reasons why radiation and chemotherapy does not work. They will fail each time, brother and sister. They're bypassing the cell. They're sidestepping the cell. If you sidestep the cell, it's over for the person. It's just a matter of time. Mm-hmm. And people need to come to symptometry early. Make that decision early, because you have to be fully engaged. You have to do the heavy lifting. You have to change your mindset. You have to modify your diet. You have to learn about scientific eating, cooking, and living on this planet. The earlier you come to symptometry, the better off you'll be. You start getting back in compliance with the health rule, the natural laws that's working against you because you be in violation of them. We have to get smarter, brother and sister. Otherwise, they're going to continue to take advantage of us. Well, who is they?
Is it you?
The they who do not want anything good to happen to you. They want you to be riddled with symptoms and diseases. So you're out of the picture. You can't even compete. You're not in the competition anymore.
Well,
you can't allow that to happen, brother and sister. We cannot.
Well, let me end with this before I leave, okay? We are teaching life skills, something that, I gave you all kinds of information. The life skill is supposed to equip you so that when you face the doctor, you know what to do and what to say. Remember, when they tell you the news, I mean, it hits you like a brick. Take a deep breath, and you and your husband or your daughter, both of us, say, we're going to go home and we're going to think about this. Don't even make any decision there, because they're going to force you and say, oh, when do you want to have surgery? Or when do you want to start the chemo? They will immediately start saying you need to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, when you are hit with cancer notice, your mind is become jelly. I'm telling you, you don't know what they're telling you. It go from one ear to the other. Go home, take a deep breath, and then think about, what is my next step? And that way you make a decision that is good for you and your family, for yourselves. Because that chemo is poison. And remember, they are not breaking the bonds, they are not removing the hindrances, they are leaving it in there. But they're also putting poison in your body. Go home, think straight, and then make your next step. And I would like to invite you to come to symptometry before they put those poison in your system. Assalamu alaikum.
Mrs. Rita, excellent. Thank you so very much, brother and sister. We have to take charge of our life. We can't put our life in the hands of other people.
That's right.
That's already happened, Miss Yvette. It already happened too many times. It just took over. But we have a group of people in the world today that like to take over people's business. They're always in other folks' business. They can't not handle their own business. They can't tell their children what to do, but they'd rather tell you what to do. Other nations. Right. So we just have to stand up, brother and sister, for ourselves. We have the Constitution, the 14th Amendment, allow us to make our own medical choices. And once you mention that to your physician, he's going to back off. Once you mention that to your nurse, the physician assistant, they're going to back off because they will not want to be sued by you. Then you have,
Yeah, but they pray that we don't know about our health.
Exactly.
That's it. They count on that we don't know. Not pray. They count on that we do not know anything about our health.
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. But brother and sister, we have to take charge. We have to become knowledgeable. They take advantage of our ignorance.
Yes.
And especially our seniors.
Definitely.
I had no idea that my mother had the health problem that she had until I started taking her to the doctor. I have to start taking her to the doctor before I found out the many drugs she was on that messed up her kidneys and her heart. She never had heart condition. She never had any kidney issues before the medication. We all seen situations like this, brothers and sisters. We just didn't know anything about what was going on. Now we have a school that's taught us what happened, and we cannot unlearn it. We know, and I'm motivated to share with other people.
Yes.
Let them know that they have a choice. They are responsible, not the physician.
That's right.
The Almighty gifted you with a human body, and you have to learn how to take care of it. You can't just stick your head in the sand.
Hmm. Well, you know, we were trained to obey, right?
Exactly.
The doctors, we were trained to obey.
Absolutely.
You know, do what they say. Take your medicine 2-3 times a day. Take your medicine every day, 8 in the morning. Routine.
For years.
For years. And you wonder why you have kidney issues. You wonder why. You're
Exactly.
on 12 different medications. 12.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. How can you be healthy with 12 different medications? Each one of them have a kill. Each one of them have preservative. And the preservative could be formaldehyde, aluminum, mercury. Each one of them have halogen, mineral salt. It has more negativity than positivity. These are things that we know now, brothers and sisters, we didn't know before. How can you be healthy? Who's the cause of many of our conditions and health problems? You already know. I don't even have to say it.
Moi. You are. You are. Yourself by not knowing.
Take responsibility.
Not being educated the right way when it comes to health.
So, Ms. Yvette, we have this other issue that we want to discuss. Yes, how our cells function. How our cells function, brothers and sisters. How our cells function. Brothers and sisters, before we start entertaining and talking about how our cells function, we want to take a moment just to remind all of us about the fantastic resource that we all have at our fingertips.
Yes.
The American School of Symptometry website. We cannot say enough about it. Yes. Almost daily, new articles are being posted, things that you wonder about.
2-3 times a day.
Where they come from, how this happened, how that happened. Please go there. The mystery would be solved for you. There's no mystery when it comes to diseases. There is no mystery disease.
Nope.
You just don't know how the cell function. You don't know how you function. we the intersection between the seen and the unseen, the visible and the invisible. This is how the Almighty created us. And the more and more we understand how this body was created, the more glorification we'll give to the Almighty Source Creator. You can't do nothing but give glorification to Him. But if you don't know about you and how He put us together and what He produced, well, you take it for granted. I say my few prayers, I did some good deeds, and that'll be about it. But real intense glorification, study more of the cells, and you will become to know there has to be an Almighty Creator. This just didn't happen all by itself. No Big Bang theory, none of that foolishness. All planned, brothers and sisters, and we was planned too, and that's the reason why we are here. No way you could have been here without a plan. The Almighty planned for us to be here in this space and in this time. What are we going to do with this space and time? We have to have ourselves in charge.
That's right.
We can't be sick and running around here with diseases when the Almighty created us in such a way that we're not supposed to have a disease, Miss Yvette. But since no one taught us anything, how to live on this planet, that's why we have diseases. We don't know how to live. We don't have life skills. No. This is the first thing the child should learn when they come here, how to take care of themselves, how to be smarter.
Yes.
This is the problem with the whole world. The whole world have been bamboozled.
Yes.
And taken advantage of for money. Think about that. For money and power. I'm not going to teach them. I'm just going to take advantage of them, have more power over them. That's for that.
Yeah.
That's what has happened.
Yeah. But some of us who would like to know a little more about their health will go to that length to learn.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, you're not in control of your health. It's just simple as that.
If you're not in control of your health, you won't be in control of yourself.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Somebody else will be controlling you.
It's important to watch everything that you put into your mouth because your cells will be affected. It will be affected.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So just a few articles that's recently posted just to give you an idea of what we're talking about, just to whet your interest, brother and sister. Latest article posted on the website. Yeast infection in the human body. People have yeast. If you don't come to symptometry, it's not going anywhere. You're going to die with it. It might be the reason why you die, the yeast infection. What is it? Where it come from? What food carry it? How you get it in the body? How you get rid of it? Symptometry answer all of these
questions. Yes.
Men and women, children have yeast infection. And we don't have any clue about where they come from. We know nothing. Read the article. The blood flow trajectory. Why do blood flow slowly in some people when it need to move fast at the speed of light? Fast in order for our cells to be nourished. What about the hindrance that's slowing down blood? The food that you're eating, the vegetable that you ate last night, the fruit you ate last night, the water you're drinking will reduce the speed in which blood circulates, will reduce your temperature less than 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you're going to have a problem if your temperature fluctuates. Read the article, brothers and sisters, where blood's supposed to go. Everywhere, in every cell, all trillion of them. Blood need to go. But you're eating food that's setting up blockages. You have condition that's setting up blockages. Then you go take some supplement. Well, I don't know why, but if you got blockages, the supplement not going where they need to go. You're just wasting your money. Your cell going to ship them to the colon, and then they just be coming out. So you wasted your money. Remove the blockages.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, Ms. Sister Amina. So we shared the various article that's posted on the website. There's an article posted this past week on the website said, health re-education. You need to read it. Health re-education. That's what we need. We need to be re-educated about health because we've been misinformed on so many different levels about health. We don't know what it is anymore. Another very important article, the mistakes drug manufacturers keep making. The mistake they keep making, they keep sidestepping the cell. If the drug manufacturers are making those mistakes, you need to know what they are. You're taking the drugs. So know the mistakes that they're making. Sometimes to bring these things to our attention. Insight into kidney disease. Insight into kidney disease. Know if you're on the way to have kidney disease. Don't take it for granted. You don't have to sit there and wait for kidney disease. The doctor said, okay, you have some kidney issue, and then he don't tell you anything to 6 months down the road. Okay, you're going to go on dialysis. Don't be surprised by those things. The body always warns us years ahead of time. If you know the warning sign, sometimes it's teaching us the warning signs. Your cells never lie to you. They always tell the truth. They cannot lie. And they always warn us. We're just not paying attention. You think it's just going to go away. It's not going to happen to you. You special.
Yeah, a lot of people think that.
Yeah, you've been blessed by God. You special. God has natural laws in place. It shows no friends, no favor, nothing. If you violate the law, it's going to be executed. You can fool yourself, brother and sister. But the law is going to execute it. There's no judge you can bribe. There's nobody you can go to and say, whisper and say, here's $20. Don't let me get cancer.
That's it. That's it.
No, you're responsible. Natural law number 10, Miss Yvette. It may be late for some of us, but I learned it late too. And got diagnosed with prostate cancer. And I thought I was healthy. I thought I was smarter. Yeah, none of that foolishness that I was doing were working. I had to come to symptometry.
That's right.
Brother, sister, don't be fooled. I don't listen to any of those things. The doctor that I have, they cooperate with me. If I say, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. They already know. And that's how it's supposed to be. They work for me. They are my resources. I ask them the questions. If you're the sick person and you're the patient, isn't that how it's supposed to be? That's I don't like what they're hearing, what they're saying, then I go to another one. Because I already know they can't reverse anything. All they do is do my test once or twice a year, set up my lab work when I want to go and check some things out, see what direction I'm going in. Then I meet with Dr. Norton, have our consultation and discussion, then make sure I'm on the right track. That's it, brother and sister. And we keep learning more life skills, cook our food, select it scientifically, and learn to live scientifically on this planet. It's up to us. It's not up to anyone else.
I'd like to make a statement.
Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. To have
I just wanted to let you all know, I'm just coming from seeing my primary care doctor today. I asked for a walk-in appointment because I was having an issue with something. And I also asked for my vitals. You know, I want to know what my numbers are, you know, my cholesterol and all of that, because I'm going to call you all soon. And I want to, I'm trying to, you know, see about the last blood work that I had done. But I just wanted to mention on the way back, there's a library around the corner from my particular doctor. I went on this site and I got the articles that you just mentioned. I got off, what is the one about kidney disease?
Wonderful.
Re-education, the re-education about health. And there's another one. There's 3 that I got off, printed off, because I wanna deal with, you know, being ahead of anything that I may have coming up as far as my health.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you so very
Wonderful.
much.
Yeah, keep up with it. Every year.
Articles that's posted there. Insight into the Creator. See, all other therapeutics leave out the Creator. They don't even mention the Creator. We mentioned the Creator, the natural law, because all of these things work together. We're part of this whole system, brother and sister. The universe, the creation. We're not separate. We're part of it. And the more we know, the better choices and better decisions that we can make. Insight into the Creator. Read the article. You already.
The one that says health re-education.
Yes.
Oh, the blood flow. That's the one I was trying to remember. The blood flow trajectory. And
cell function. Read it.
Because I want to know. I want to be on top of, you know, whatever. And the mistake that the drug manufacturers make. Because, you know, I talk about that all the time.
They keep making it.
All these pills they want to put you on everything, you know. So thank you. I just wanted to mention that. Assalamu alaikum.
And the drug company, they're not going to change, brother and sister. They're not changing for us. We have to change. So there's many articles. How the particulars work. You want to know how the particulars work? You don't have to take my word. Read the article. The science is there. You know what? You want to know what they're made out of? See, when we share something with our folk, they want to know everything. When you go to the physician, they give you a drug, you never ask them what's in it. Where this come from? Where that come from? Why I got to take it tonight? What it's going to do to me? And they put all the things it's going to do to you right on the label. Well, one of these things that might happen is death. You still take it. I don't understand. I do not understand. Do you understand that, Ms. Yvette? If on the label it says one of the side effects is death, people still take it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand it, but they figure it's not going to happen to me.
They special. They got the inside track.
It's not going to happen to me.
On the Almighty, okay.
We all think that because that was all we thought we had. See, at that time is medical, but no, we now have a choice. See, now we can think outside the box. We can, work on ourselves, and that's what I would like to talk about today. Is how our cells function, okay? How they function. You know how they said that commercial, the incredible edible egg? What about the incredible cells? The incredible cells. Did you know that our cells were created to create us? And they produce everything to maintain normalcy. Let me repeat that. Our cells were created to create us. And they produce everything to maintain normalcy in our body. They produce all of our brain essentials so we can think normal, act normal, learn, be on our best behavior. Our body essentials to keep our bodies healthy, up and running. No stiffness. You know how you sit on the couch for long periods of time and you get up and you got to hold on to something because you're so stiff, right? Okay, none of that. Our cells produce our body, every brain, body, and cell essential that we need. There's no need for medication. They produce everything. We give them what they need to remove the hindrance, and then we just let them do their job. That's all we need to do. There's no need for introduction to pharmaceutical drugs. Our cells do not need that. They're incredible. They do not need that. We were made incredible. Our cells divide so we can keep living. But it's our responsibility, our own responsibility, is to keep them healthy by helping them to continue to divide, by not eating foods that block the cells from receiving their nutrients and their resources. That's all we got to do. Sounds simple. I mean, that's all we have to do. But we have been brainwashed, right? We've been brainwashed. And detoured from ourselves, from what the Creator gave us. We have been detoured from that by pharmaceuticals. Again, they're good for a purpose, for short term, not long term, because long term, our cells are not able to function. How can it function when pharmaceutical drugs remove heat from our bodies? They can't function. Removes oxygen from them. So how are our cells supposed to recover if heat is being removed, if oxygen is being removed, just for taking a pill that is supposed to help a condition? That does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. So what they make these drugs out of is what's causing the side effects that they tell you about, plain and simple on TV. They tell you, you may have this, that. But we so, arrogant that, hey, it's not going to happen to us. Nah, I'm strong. I got muscles. I'm strong. But I need to cure this headache, or I need to get this swelling down. So I need to take these pharmaceutical drugs right now, because I don't feel good. But that's the old way of thinking, right? That's the old way of thinking. We now have a new way. We think differently now about our health and about our cells that created us. They were created to create us. Amazing. And they know what to do when we are sick. We just got to have more faith in ourselves and how we were created. That's all. But they cannot do it alone because we have bombarded them with so much chaotic eating that they're struggling. They're struggling to survive. So when you think about it that way, you think, okay, what can I do? What can I do to help my cells from giving me cholesterol, from giving me high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer? What can I do myself at home so I don't have to go to these pharmaceutical drugs that I know that removes heat from my body, removes oxygen from my body? I do not want to go there at all. So now, ladies and gentlemen, now we have an option. I mean, we have several options, but we hit the therapeutic scene, symptometry. We've been here, 20, 30 years or longer, but now thanks to social media, we're now able to let you know we're here. We're here for you now. No need for pharmaceutical drugs. Like my doctor once told me, well, I take high blood pressure medicine. I'm like, wait, what? He said, I take high blood pressure medicine. I'm like, wait, what? I couldn't understand that. You're a doctor. How do you take high blood pressure medicine? You're a doctor. You know everything. We come to you for healing. So how are you taking high blood pressure medicine? At that time, I knew something was wrong with the system. I could not believe it. They get sick too. But I didn't. We're thinking they all powerful, all knowing about the body, about our health. But if you get sick too, something's wrong with the drugs or the system completely, right? Thank goodness that we now have another alternative. It's where there's no drugs needed. We depend on what created us. We just give them the means to work, to do their job. We remove the hindrances. We're breaking bonds so you can be healthy in your brain, in your body, so you can be healthy. That's amazing. But yeah, physicians, pharmacists, optometrists don't teach how the cells function. They don't teach that. Only the American School of Symptometry will teach you that. Only. I have my bachelor's degree in cellular health. I'm a certified symptometry health coach. I'm certified in scientific eating and living, and currently studying to pass my master's exam. Because I want to know. This took me totally by surprise. I was like, what? There is a school? There's another alternative to side effects, pharmaceutical drugs? What? I gravitated towards it quick. And now look where I'm at today. Look where I'm at today. Running behind Coach Shaheed. Oh, climbing the ladder.
Absolutely.
Climbing the ladder, you know? But yeah, it's very important to know that you have a resource within yourself to reverse your illnesses, your symptoms, your diseases. You have your own cells. You just got to come to symptometry and let us clean them up. That's all. Clean them up for years of being, cluttered and congested because we never knew we needed maintenance in life. When we eat, we need maintenance. We just supposed to eat? No. Sometimes it don't come out. Sometimes it take days, weeks. So imagine your insides, what they're going through when it don't come out. All the food we eat from breakfast to dinner. They are so congested, not only with the poisons from the foods that we ate and the preservatives that's in it, drinking the wrong waters. You go to a restaurant, you drink water with ice. Ice lowers your temperature in your body. You do not want to eat ice or get ice with your meals, drinks. No ice. What do our cells want? What do they want from us? Simple. But it's us who is bypassing them because of we just gotta have it. They want the inside and the outside cleaned periodically so they can function again. That's all they want from us. Because they get stuck, ladies and gentlemen. They get stuck. From the shakes we have had in the past, from marshmallows we've eaten in the past, from oats, sticky stuff. They need to be removed. The poisons, the bonds need to be broken. We probably have 50,000 poison bonds in us. They have to be broken. And what tools do they need? They need us to clean them up, and then they will produce their own tools. Imagine that. Our own cells, if we clean them up, will produce their own tools to produce every body, brain, and body essential. That's all they have to do. We have to do. So once they're cleaned up, their tools are enzymes. They will automatically start producing enzymes, automatically. And everything is going to be automation after that. Automation. This is why we eat scientifically. This is why eating scientifically follows the rules and laws of health. because we help the body in every way it can produce enzymes by eating and living scientifically. Living scientifically too. You know, we go around spraying our house with air fresheners. Why? Just open the windows. You're inhaling coal tar derivatives when you do that, which is something else our body has to get rid of. But no one gets rid of coal tar derivatives but symptometry, particulates. But that's living. Be careful. Be careful with your laundry detergents. Why use color? Who needs color? Clear. We're giving ourselves a break here. Our kidneys. But they don't have to filter anything, any colors. For our skin don't have to absorb colors. This is how you live scientifically. You be careful how you live in your house. What you put in the air freshener, what you put in the, what's those things called? Certain things that freshen your air. I guess we don't want to say the name. Okay, so be careful of those. You don't need all them other things that they say buy with laundry. You don't need those. Dye-free, clear. That's scientific living. You be careful. You do not walk on hardwood floors barefooted. That's scientific living. You do not walk on carpet barefooted. That's scientific living. Our feet absorb. It's an absorbent. It absorbs shock when you're walking. It also can absorb chemicals that you walk on. Hardwood floors have formaldehyde. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Formaldehyde. There you go. Okay. Carpet has bromine in it. An endocrine destroyer. So you must put on shoes so your feet will not absorb the chemicals that's in the house, that's in the carpets, that's on the hardwood floors. Okay? So we must be careful so we won't cause human diseases. We don't want to cause human diseases ourselves. We do not want to cause harm to our cells, cells. We do not want to cause harm to our cells, cell. We don't. So we have to live scientifically too. So diseases will not occur. Okay, or digesting food will not occur. Sometimes having problems digesting food, I should say, will not occur. Some people have problems digesting fish, swallowing, drinking water. But do they know that we're not producing certain enzymes? No, they rather give you something. We come to symptometry and we'll help you to digest. No such thing as celiac disease in symptometry. There's no such thing as that. Lactose intolerance. There's no such thing as that in symptometry. Where did them names come from? They're not addressing the needs of the cells. Why are your cells rejecting lactose? Why? It's not producing the enzymes to produce lactose. Something you ate or something you was exposed to denatured that enzyme and made it worthless. Deactivated that enzyme and made it worthless. So it was not able to produce what it needs to, is why you have these symptoms of digestion problems, of swelling problems, diseases. Okay, like who created vegans and vegetarians? Where did that even come from? People are not able to digest meat. Why? They're not producing the protein enzymes to digest protein. While they're vegetarian, same way. They can't digest meat, but they think it's the meat. Oh, it's the meat. Meat is bad for you. No. No, no, no. We need meat. We need the amino acids from meat. You just got to know how to cook it. We prefer eating low protein foods, which you would learning scientific eating and living, versus high protein foods. We teach you that so you can save your kidneys in the future. We also do preventive. Don't sit there and wait. Like the coach said earlier, do not wait for no disease. We have preventive. Like they say, oh, go get a colon test. Go get a breast exam. No. No. Because to me, that's not prevention. You're harming yourself even more by pressing your breast against that cold. And you shouldn't have to squeeze your breast anyway. Your blood vessels might bust. They're made to be plump, fluffy. No squeezing. No. Colonoscopies. No. That just came, what, 5, 6, 7 years ago? That's new. Why am I trying something new? They call it preventive. But sometimes it has its own preventive. We have ourselves, because we have knowledge. We're learning knowledge. You now can learn the knowledge from visiting the website. He puts out 2 or 3 a day. Hard for us to even keep up. He wants the world to know that symptometry is here for you. For you to live a long, healthy, energized life. No hindrances, even well into old age. We can address every symptom that you have, because we will have symptoms. That's just because we live here on planet Earth. So we're going to have a symptom. Some things is out of our control. Like we live in a world of poisons here on Earth, right? Full of poisons. Outside, the air, we can walk into a place and breathe something and knock us out. Our cells are very fragile. They're smart, but they're fragile. So we have to protect them. This is why we eat scientifically, okay, to protect them. To make sure you're putting less poisons in your body. This is what scientific eating is all about. It's not restrictive. It's not. Visit my website, scientificrecipes.com. It's not restrictive. Food is dangerous. It's very dangerous. I mean, if you become a vegan or a vegetarian like I was at one time, I got high blood pressure. Being a vegetarian. That goes back to the doctor who says he takes high blood pressure medication. Okay? So be careful, especially of beans, to protect your kidneys. So it's amazing, our cells and what they can do. Let's not count them out. Let's not be so quick to go and run to medical so we can keep them oxygenated. Keep our bodies full of heat like it's supposed to be, full of heat. All right, I see we are about to close out, but thank you so much for listening this week, and hopefully you'll be back next week. Coach Shaheed?
Thank you so very much, Miss Yvette. That was fantastic. It's absolutely amazing the information that we're being taught at the American School of Symptometry. Brothers and sisters need to become a student so we can help more people so we can help ourselves, help our family members, help our friends, our associates, help our community. Nobody's going to come and save us. Lord knows we needed saving. But if they hadn't made it yet, they're not coming. We see one hand raised. Sister Lala, Salam Alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak. Go right ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question or make your comment. Thank you for joining us today.
So, Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Did she mention something about beans?
Say that again.
What was that about the beans?
Beans,
yes. About beans?
Yes.
Go ahead, Miss Yvette.
Yes. What's your question about beans? Yes.
I want to know what's the problem with beans? And is that all beans or one type of beans?
Pretty much all beans.
Yes. No beans are safe. Actually.
They're called legumes. They're called legumes.
Legumes, yes. No beans are safe because of the damage it does to our system, our kidneys. Okay? We have to protect them. Beans are not safe. So we have, and they're full of poisons too. Okay? Every plant or crop has poisons. They created them themselves.
Yes. Poison to ourselves.
Yes. Yes. They created poison for themselves so people won't come eat them.
Right.
And we go eat them because they say it's good for us. But there's a downside to beans. There's a downside to everything on earth.
Everything.
Everything on earth, there's a upside and a downside, but we never hear about the downsides of foods. Never. This is why it's important to get the book from Dr. Narte on Amazon called The Downside of Nutrition. If you read that book, you will be so surprised about the foods that's making us sick. The Downside of Nutrition, the untold truth about the foods we love. The untold truth. Get that book right away at Amazon by Dr. Narte. The Downside of Nutrition. It's going to tell you all about the foods that has the downside of foods. How many enzymes it takes to digest those foods. That's why we deplete our enzymes. We deplete them quick. In one meal, we can deplete them. If we eat corn, if we eat beef, if we eat rice, we've depleted some of our enzymes like immediately, at least 50 to 60,000 already. Because of the constituents that food is made of. Yeah, we recommend, I'm glad you're interested though, because we recommend you coming to the American School of Symptometry. We're going to have a culinary class this year. And we're trying to get, as much for people to come join. Absolutely. So you can learn the scientific way of eating and learning about the foods. It's mostly about foods. It's not really about cooking in the kitchen. It's about learning what foods make you sick. What foods make you sick. And what's in foods. Okay? So it's amazing. So stay tuned, okay? We're going to be having that class shortly. Is that right, Mr. Shaheed?
Absolutely. A couple other things about peas and beans. So the thing is, if you reach your saturation point in eating them, which means if you have some kidney condition, stop eating peas and beans. That's what your cells are telling you. If your capacity for your kidney is going down, you went there, you had a lab report, and it said that your numbers are out of order. Your filtration force is low, and they're trending downward. Your creatine level is out of whack. That's when you need to think about eating these things. But if you want to keep healthy kidneys, avoid overeating peas and beans. Do not eat combination of peas and beans together with meats. Both of them are heavy protein. You're going to put too much pressure on your kidneys. That's why many people find themselves on dialysis machine and don't realize what happened.
What happened? Nuts and beans.
Exactly.
Stay away from them.
So once you reach the saturation point, That means moderation is the key. But once you reach your saturation point, that's when you should have some concern. And you need to remove some of the garbage, the sludge, the substances. And many beans are poisoned outright. Yes. Certain beans and peas you have to avoid. So sometimes it will tell you the one that you should, if you have to eat them, which one to choose and how to cook them.
Yes.
Most people think they're excellent cook, but they're cooking food that's making people sick.
That's making you sick. Yes. This is why the class is so important.
So, brothers and sisters, our time is right up on us. It's absolutely amazing how fast our time flies.
Yes.
Okay, one more question. What was that name of that book? The Downsides of
Nutrition.
Nutrition.
You can go to Amazon and pick a copy of
Thank you.
The Downside of Nutrition. See, nutrition has an upside and a downside. And the other book is What to Consume, the safest consumer on planet Earth. And Dr. Nord is coming out this week with a new book, Introductory to Symptomatic Science, a new book. Everybody in the world need to have a copy. It's coming out real soon, and we'll keep you posted. Thank you so very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Optimal Health on AM 360. So, brothers and sisters, it's absolutely